What all did I learn from college? How was my college experience? And are the Sonic hard seltzers good? Well, I talk about all that and more on this episode of the Toddcast. Hello everyone and welcome to the Toddcast. As always, I'm your host, Todd McManus. It is a very rainy day here in the North Louisiana area. No matter if it's raining, no matter what's going on, I still had to go out into the town and get me some good old Popeyes. You know what I'm talking about. Get me some good mild tenders with that blackened ranch. I don't know what it is. Like, just to let y'all know, I never really ate sauce at Popeyes before. I never really I would just go there, get the tenders, fries, and sometimes with mashed potatoes as well, with the gravy, of course, because their brown gravy is heavenly, in my opinion. And I just ate that, you know. I never really dove into their sauces. And more recently, I've been eating their blackened ranch, and man, that sauce has got to be like top tier, like A or S tier sauce. I'm going to have to do a sauce list at some point because that sauce is really good. But yeah, I had me some tenders, 5-piece, blackened ranch, fries. Never can go wrong with some good old box of Popeyes, you know what I'm saying? So, but with all that being said, from what you heard at the very beginning, I wanted to take a step back for a minute, for a few minutes, for a lot of minutes actually. For all of you who've been listening, you know, for the past 2.5 years, since January of 2020, if you've been listening since then, if you've been listening since the past, 50 episodes, past 20, past 10, this could be your first episode. You could listen to a lot of them, different one of them, no matter what. If you're listening to this episode and you've listened to more recently, you know throughout the past 2.5 years, I've never really been too, how can I say, personal. Like, I talk about my life. I've talked about different stories. I've talked about different things that have happened. And, going to a restaurant, eating there, and reviewing it, that's not really like a personal story. I was the one who went there and ate the food, and you give my personal review of it. But I've never really talked about, my life, a period in my life in depth, really. And so this episode, no news, no entertainment news. We're not even really going to talk about Marvel or anything, even though She-Hulk, the Disney Plus Marvel series, premiered this week. I have not watched the first episode yet. But this week, we're still going to do a question submitted by one of you, the listeners. That's coming later, and we're going to be reviewing 3 different drinks later as well. Just going to let y'all know that. But first off, we're just going to take a minute. I literally have nothing written down for this. It's a big blank, like normal intro and then the question. And it's just a big blank in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a chill episode, sit back, relax, because I have got some stories that I would like to tell. Because for those of you who don't know, if you don't know me personally, or you don't follow me on social media or anything, which it was posted on Facebook, but not really on Instagram yet. Recently, as of about 2 weeks ago, I officially have my bachelor's degree in marketing. Yes, that holds your applause. I have officially graduated from ULM, the University of Louisiana in Monroe, from a 4-year degree, and it's a sense of being complete, of having the degree. I mean, this is a project that lasted 4 years, almost exactly 4 years, because of when I started and when I ended. I had to go through a winter session, I had to go through a summer session, and now more recently, now that I've graduated, I've been looking at jobs. I've been looking at jobs for way before I graduated, but I've been in talks with different companies now to try to work for them, and then once I actually do get a job, I will give an update on where the Toddcast stands in that realm of me trying to get a job and do this as well, because I enjoy doing this. I know all of you, if you listen to this regularly, you must enjoy it at some point, unless you're just waiting to see it crash and burn, But I enjoy doing this, and if you enjoy listening, that's the best part of my job here. But I want to give my story, my college story, if you will, because there are people that I know, actually, and there are definitely people that have never been to college. My parents both never went to college, and being in a family, like my sister, she didn't graduate college, but she graduated from another school. So technically, I'm the first person in my immediate family to graduate college and have a college degree. And I'm very proud of that. But we're going to take it back. I'm going to give you the full scope of the entirety of what I had to go through, what it was like for those of you who may have went to college somewhere else. You may have went to a community college. You may have went to a technical college. You may have only did 2 years. You may have done 4 years like me. You may have done 6 years for a master's. You may have done 8 years for a doctorate. You may have went to medical school. You may have never even went to college or anything. But I want to give you my version, my personal story of my college experience. I usually ask different guests that I have on that went to college, and I'll be like, what was your college experience? Did you enjoy going to college? Why did you choose that degree? I'm going to be answering those questions about myself. I'm basically interviewing myself at this point, because I've had different people ask me questions about college and all that, so I'm just going to give it all right now on what I think about it, the actual learning part of the college, and just how it is in general, basically. Just anything about college I'm going to be talking about right now. So, but when you start off thinking about college, where have I got to go? I've got to go all the way back. We are going to go back a while. We're going to go all the way back to the summer of 2018. Now, if y'all didn't know, I graduated high school in May of 2018. And I was fortunate enough to stay at the same high school from kindergarten all the way to 12th. I stayed there for 13 years. I graduated, my high school graduating class was 40. Counting me was 40 people, which is actually, I think, one of the biggest classes to ever graduate from that school. And that school's been around since like the 70s. And so, being in a small school like that, I knew everybody. I knew everybody in my graduating class. And so, graduating from that, I was very skeptical on going. I knew I wanted to go to college because this is the basic premise of what everybody thinks of going to college, is that you go to college to get a degree, and if you have a degree, when you get a job, you'll get paid more money. And that's not really the case when you think about it. That you can get paid more money in the long run, I think. But like starting out, no. That is not true. The only reason you really get like a bachelor's degree or any college degree is because of moving up in the workspace. For people who don't know that, the way it works is that if you want a job, like in marketing, and you want to work for a marketing agency, if you want an entry-level job that pays, anywhere between $15 to $20 an hour, anybody can get that. As long as you know what marketing is, and you're getting an entry-level, trainee-level job, you could either do an internship, which you need nothing for, and sometimes part-time and full-time. And you don't need a degree for that. That's entry-level, boom. You can get promoted to manager. You can do all that kind of stuff. There's regional managers, district managers, general managers, different managers of specific areas, senior official manager, all this kind of stuff. There's many different types of managers. Once you get past that point is where the degree comes into play, is where, okay, you can get promoted, but you don't have a degree. Because if you're both like the general manager, but you didn't go to college, and somebody who is also a general manager, they went to college, they most likely are going to get promoted ahead of you, unless you provide a really great work ethic and the other person just sucks at working. So the way that works is that you get promoted, you can become the director of marketing, you can become all the way up to the CMO, which is the chief marketing officer, who works right under the vice president and the president of a company, where you're like almost up to the board. You're up there in that area of the president and administrative area. CMO is in charge of everything of marketing, usually that and the director of marketing. So what I'm talking about is that I was very skeptical of wanting to go to college, because I know I wanted to get a job. Of course, I needed one. But I didn't know what I wanted to do yet. So summer 2018 happens. Fun year. Don't even remember what happened during that summer. Probably didn't. I think I did go on one trip. Had fun, friends, all that kind of stuff. August comes around, and it's time to go over there. So I did not live on campus. I never lived on campus. I do not have that experience, which is something that I don't think I'm going to regret that. No, I don't regret it. It's just probably like funny stories and stuff. I've lived at home the entire time because I didn't want to go over there, because I could live at home and be fine and, have roof over my head, pay for gas, all that stuff. That's the only thing, is that I'd have to commute like 20 to 25 minutes every day. But I looked out because there's some stuff. I'll get to that in a minute. I looked out because of the way I scheduled my classes. I only had to go 4 days a week. I only had to go Monday through Thursday, because I just would pack a bunch of classes in 4 days. That way I wouldn't have to go on Friday. Therefore, I would have a 3-day weekend, which was very nice, to catch up on sleep and stuff and do just a bunch of homework on the weekends. That way I could do whatever I want during the day. During the week, But there's some stuff that they don't teach you before you go to college. Like, in high school, they teach you, math and history and science, and you're like, oh, you're going to need this when you get to college. You're going to need this when you get to college. Honestly, with all of you right now, over half of the things that they taught me in high school, I did not use in college. But that's me. Going into marketing. I'm going into the business field. What do I need to know about biology to know business? But if you're going to be a doctor or a dentist or something, or something in the science field, you're going to need to know that biology, and then you're going to take some more in college with chemistry and physics and all that kind of stuff, too. But I didn't need it. So it's like I took one freshman level biology class in college, and that was it. Because you need like at least like one science, an English or two, math, because you have to, like, everybody ends up having to take statistics anyway. But I needed statistics for another class that was quantum something? Not quantum mechanics. It wasn't physics or nothing. It was crap. What was that class? I don't remember. I don't think it was that hard. Might have been. I don't know. Finance is the hardest class, though, but I'll get to that in a minute. So I started August 2018 going. Did not know a lot of people. Like, about half of my class went to ULM, so that's like 20 of us. But out of us 20, I didn't see a lot of them for like weeks, because ULM has like 8,000 students. that are like all there at the same time. And it was frightening and scary. I had no clue what to do. I was so lost. Like, I look back on it now and realize, like, I was very antisocial. Like, I was a sociable person in high school. Like, towards the last 2 or 3 years, my 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, I was great. I was like, all right, I know everybody, you know. I know the teachers. They like me. I like everybody else, you know. I don't really have a problem with anybody. No one really had a problem with me. And then I go to college, and I don't know anybody. I don't want to know anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, I wanted to get, like, they have Chick-fil-A in the sub. I wanted to get Chick-fil-A and get good grades and get out. That's all I wanted to do. And so I remember there's this class that they make you take called university class, which lasts half of a semester. Because one semester is about, is it 16 weeks? Or 8? I want to say it's 16. Because it goes from like middle of August all the way to like the first week of December. Then you get out for 3 or 4 weeks for Christmas and New Year's. Then you come back in January, a week before Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That, and then it goes until like the first week of May, and then that's it. And then you're out for the rest of May, June, July, and the first half of August. Then you go back. So 2018's here. We're going through the first semester. I was actually not in marketing. I was in computer information systems, was my first major. I was taking those classes. I was taking just the regular classes. You know, I didn't have to take any history because I did dual enrollment. I didn't have to do that. I was in university, English. What else did I take? I wish I wrote it down at some point. But I have no recollection of the classes that I took. But at some point, was that the semester? So I did join a group. I was not in a frat. God no, I was never going to do that. Because that crap, there's no frat that's good, okay? There's none. Like, some of them, you know, may do charity work, or they may go pick up some trash on the side of the road. But there is never, and I mean never, a frat that is the best ever. Because they all, what's it called? Not gaslighting. There's something else that they do. Hazing, that's it. They do that hazing thing. A lot of them do that. And I don't know why. Where it's like hey, you want to be in this frat? Well, let's beat the crap out of you. So we can, so you can join our group. You can be part of the bros, you know. But we gotta like make you run around with no clothes on around campus or something and do something stupid. I hated that. I never wanted to be in a frat because it cost money too. Like, what's the point of a frat? How does a frat benefit you besides drinking? How? Besides drinking underage, by the way. There is so much of that. Every college has that. There's no... Okay, so in Louisiana, the law is different. You have to be 21 to buy, which is the law everywhere. But in the state of Louisiana, you can be 18 years old and drink alcohol, but you have to have it be bought by somebody of age, of over 21. So, like, I think that's it. That's the way it was explained to me before. That you could, like, go to a restaurant, and if somebody was 18 and your cousin was 21... Okay, well then never mind. All American states must abide by the drinking age of 1884. This sets that no one under the age of 21 can drink or possess alcohol. This was in July 2020. But also in Louisiana, this was in 1996 when this was written. It was, at that time, it was the only state in the nation with a drinking age of 18. You can buy at 21, but you can drink at 18. So if I have a cousin who's 18 or 19, I can buy them alcohol because I'm 22 years old. And so they can drink it, and as long as they're, like, responsible and all that, but they can't go buy it, because you have to be 21 on your driver's license. Which fake IDs is a whole thing, and I'll get to, I'll get to that. And I never did any of that because I never wanted to because it was stupid. So, let's see here. I'm trying to look up my transcript. All right, that way I can find out my classes. So we're going to go all the way back. Here, let's see. What are the classes I took? So, fall 2018, I did a biology, a business, an English, the university class, and risk management. Because I don't know why I needed that. You needed a risk management class for computer information systems. And risk management is risk and insurance. It's an insurance class is all it is. Like, somebody gets in a wreck and who's at fault and how do you label it and all that kind of stuff, I ended up not needing that for marketing, so there was no point for me to do it, So it was like, why? I mean, at the time I took it, I wanted to do computer information systems because I like computers, but I didn't want to do the programming part of it. So, when did I change into marketing? I changed at some point. Okay, so in spring 2019, I only took 4 classes in that whole semester. I guess I did. I took English, the next English, which is English 1002, geoscience, another math, and aviation. Yes, I took aviation class, and I made an A in it too. So I don't want to call him out, but I'm just going to go to. So aviation was a great elective class because I'm not going to say his name because I don't want him to get fired or nothing, but he was a great teacher, which I don't go there anymore, so I could care less. But he would, before, he didn't take roll. He didn't take roll for the class, so you didn't have to show up. He's like, show up or not, I don't really care. It's your choice. So I didn't go a lot, and right before the test, he would show us the PowerPoint, which would have every question and answer exactly on the test, but through a PowerPoint, like, hey, let's all study together for a minute. And then he'd show it to us, and then he's like, I don't know if y'all want to, but y'all can write these. He's like, y'all maybe want to write these down, but I'm not going to be against any of that. And so he was basically like, hey, write down the answers to this PowerPoint, and then just do it on the test. And then everybody would make 100, and we're all like, yeah. And then there was like a it was like a trip. This class was packed too, because there was like 80 people up in this class probably. And there was a class trip that was not for bonus points, or I think it was for bonus points. He ended up making it like for 10 bonus points. And it was go to the like aviation museum that we have in Monroe. And I think only like 5 people went. I didn't go. I didn't want to go. I stayed home that day. And he's like, hey. And then we showed up the next day. And he's like, only 5 people showed up to the trip. And so, which I feel bad for him. But then we did a final project. And I got some excuse. I don't remember what it was. I got out of it to where I could do my project early and just show him in a room by himself. That way I wouldn't have to show in front of like other people. And then he was like, yeah, you got like a 90. And I was like, all right. And so that was it. Geoscience was fun. That teacher, I think, was a weirdo. He's like, I'm okay with you being on your phone, but you have to sit in the back. Which, I never really understood, like, the reasoning that college teachers wouldn't want you to be on your phone. As long as you don't make like, if I'm a teacher, I don't care if you're on your phone or not. As long as you don't make any noise or your phone doesn't start ringing, then it's okay, in my opinion. I don't think there's any reasoning behind any of that. In college, it's up to the student. It's up to the student to learn and then go home and study, do the homework, and then do good on the test. The teachers are just there to be like, hey, this is what we're going to learn about. All right, go learn it. The test is next week, Some teachers were good, some teachers were bad, some teachers sucked, because like I'm all for, the high school teachers and all these teachers that are saying, they're underpaid and they're not getting good funds from the government. So they're having to like buy their own materials and stuff like that. And they're not getting paid good enough to support their families. They're having to take on an extra job or an extra teaching thing or something like that. But in college, there are many teachers that I wish would go somewhere else and teach because they suck. There are many teachers that are like, I don't know, they just were bad. I don't know why. I don't know how they been a teacher or been like number one teacher of this certain college that they used to work at. And then they have their like resume that they want to show, like, hey, here's all the places I've taught at and all that, and it's like, well, yeah, here's all the places you've been fired from too. So it's not good to show all these places you've worked at because that means you can't keep a job. Like, are you serious? Like, you're that'd be like me showing a resume and I worked at 12 different businesses within the past, 10 years. And they're like, why are you work here? It's like, because I am that good. They didn't need me. It's like, no, you suck. You got fired or you quit or you had to be let go for some reason. And so you're not good, But I did swap majors in, I guess it was at the end of the spring 2019. So I was not even like a whole full school year in before I was like, I do not want to do this. And I didn't even take any computer classes yet. I was getting all of my electives out of the way for some reason, which I shouldn't have done that. But marketing was what I decided to go with. In fall 2019, I took communications, economics, another English, and another freaking math for some reason. Did those. Communications was not that hard. Economics was alright. I liked it. It was a good class. And then math, that was alright as well. So I took these classes. I remember around this time I was still in a group. I was in a Christian group. They weren't a frat or anything. They'd have some meeting, we would go eat and all that kind of stuff. It was good. And I ended up having a falling out with them. I'm still friends with them, and I still like them. It's just I just stopped going, And fall 2019 was the point before COVID. This was when COVID was starting to become, the coronavirus. What is that? It's starting in Wuhan, China, So 2019 was a really good year, I think. The summer of 2019 was really fun because I went on like 1 or 2 trips, I think. But fall 2019 was good. I don't really remember like in depth different stories. There was some different stuff that happened, but I don't remember when it happened. But yeah, that was good. That was just a regular semester. I don't really have anything to talk about yet. So spring 2020, when the whole world changed. Spring 2020 was, of course, when COVID-19 happened and the pandemic struck. I was taking 2 different accounting classes, a math and a biology for non-major. So it was like a really easy biology. The accounting classes were alright. One of them was harder than the other one. I remember being in class doing the stuff, and then we had to go to all online. And this was in March of 2020, I remember. And I was already doing this, by the way, too. I was doing the cast already at this point, too, as well, which was something to think about, that I was doing this, and that struck because I did not think that this was... I didn't think I would have come this far because of the pandemic, but also it gave me something else to do. And I was like, ain't nobody else got anything to do. They can just listen to me ramble on for like an hour every week. And so I started that in January 2020, and then March happened, and we had to go all online. And I remember having to go online because I was just sitting in my room, which I am right now, having to get on my laptop and just do work every day. And God, the math class was difficult because I had to take it again later because I made a D. And I'll tell you this, if you get financial aid from the government for doing good on like the ACT or whatever, an F is when you don't do good and they'll stop giving you funds. A D is when you don't pass the class in college, you have to retake the class, but the financial aid doesn't think you failed. They still consider a D as a passing grade, so they'll keep funding you. That's like if you make a D, you won't lose your money, but you got to take it again. So, spring 2020, I made a huge mistake too, and I'll get to that more when I'm going towards the end. Fall 2020, still in COVID, I had to take 5 classes: a business, a management information systems, a marketing and quantitative methods. That's what it was. Statistics and quality control. So I ended up taking it, and I don't think quantitative methods was not that hard. I made a C in it. Like, this is whenever it was like, all right, B's and C's all only, because there was no way I was making A's at this point. So I was bustling through, did really good. Like, honestly, fall 2020 was not that bad of a semester because I did pretty good. And I was doing them all, rocking through. Nothing really happened because it was still in COVID. And then I never went back. to the campus. I never took any more classes. After COVID struck and we were at home, I was like, I can do this. And so I just dedicated the time and the money and stayed home and just never went back to the campus to take another class. So my last classes were the first half of spring 2020, those 2, accounting, biology, and math. That was it. That was my last semester in person in class. And so spring 2021 was another business, a math, and 3 marketing classes. This was when it got more in depth for my degree. It was finally taking marketing classes because I had like 11 or 10 total that I had to take. And this was a good semester. I liked it, because the marketing, I was actually learning stuff that was interesting and what I wanted to know. Like, one of them was marketing behavior, consumer behavior was another one, and then advertising sales. So I was learning advertising and like doing studies on like, okay, well, if this certain advertisement worked, what is it about this advertisement that worked? Why is it making people buy this item or this service, So yeah, it was good. Just another class. Fall 2021. Oh, okay. This is when we get interesting. I took 6 classes. 4 of them were marketing, business law, and then a finance class. This is when it got bad because I did not do good in finance. As in, I had to take it again. So, passed all those classes, B's and C's, didn't do that good in the finance class, had to take it again. So, roll over into spring 2022, I had to take the finance and the economics class during the winter, which was not fun. The winter in between 2021 2022, this last winter, actually, during Christmas and New Year's of the last one we had, I was doing classes. Economics and finance. Did all right in the economics, passed it. I did not pass the finance. Again, back to back, same teacher. Because the teacher was god-awful. Yeah, he was terrible. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or nothing. He was bad. He didn't help. He didn't want to help. I couldn't look at the test to see what was wrong. And he's like, well, looking at the test wouldn't matter because you need to just know everything. Well, help me know everything. And then he's like, well, go ask another student. And I'm like, you need to go back to another college that you failed and apparently was fired from. So he wasn't good. He sucked. So I did good in all the other classes. And then I had to take a finance class because I needed to take it to get to my last class, which was a management class, which was strategic management. So I took a finance class at another college to get it transferred. I had to, and I enrolled, and when you think about it, and for those of you who don't know, you can call colleges, or you can go on their website and enroll to be a student, and they'll give you a password, username, all that kind of stuff, and it costs like maybe $15, $20, and then you don't have to take any classes, and then you're just considered a student. Like, I'm considered a freshman at like now 20 different colleges because I was trying to get into this one class, trying to do it at Tech. They didn't have enough because they were like, oh, we got to work with our own students before we do transfers. I was like, okay. Then I go to this next college. Well, it's not offered at this time. Okay. And I go to another one. And then most of them weren't even offering in this class for an equal transfer. I ended up taking it with the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. I checked Mississippi, Texas, everywhere in Louisiana, and some in Arkansas. Little Rock was the only one that was like, hey, we'll take you. I was like, thank God. So they took me, paid for it, got in there. I ended up making a B. I went from 2 failing grades to a B. That tells you right there that it's not the college. It's not the stuff you're learning about. The teachers. That's what that was about. Was that the one that I had at the college I'm going to, that I graduated from, was so bad that I considered quitting. I honestly sat down and thought, should I go through with this? Do I need this degree? I don't know what job I want. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know how I'm going to make money. But if I can't pass this, and I told myself, I said, if I failed this class for a third time, I'm done. I'm just going to have to go do hard pipeline work for the oil field or something, you know. I didn't want to, but I was like, I'm going to have to because I got to provide. I got to make money somehow. And I was at a very low point of thinking, yeah, this is it. No, I'm done. I've worked 3.5, almost to 4 years to this moment of nothing. You know, it's over. And you should never drop out of college. Once you start, you need to always go through with it, because if you fail or you flunk out or you just go, if you're done with it, you have to pay the money back to the government. Because if you go through with it all the way through and get a degree and finish, you're good. No debt, no nothing. As long as you don't take any loans out, you're good. I never took any loans out. I took one out, my bad. I took one, but it wasn't for the college. I took one out from a bank because I needed money to pay for 2 classes. The one from Little Rock and then the one after that. I needed it because the financial aid does not pay for those classes. So I had to pay for them. So passed it, B, transferred it, taken the management class at ULM, passed it, and now here I am. I have a bachelor's degree. It hasn't come in the mail yet. It's being shipped to my house as we speak, but I am officially a college graduate. And I never thought that I would get here. It was a hard road, very hard road. Like I said, I considered quitting more than once. I didn't think I was going to do it. I really didn't think it. I had no clue of what I wanted to do. I didn't think I knew what I was going to do. I wanted to do this. I was like, if I can make money off of doing this, a crap ton of money, get to Joe Rogan levels of listeners, then yeah, I'll do this, make thousands to millions of dollars, that'd be great. But I don't make that much money off of this, hardly to none, and I need a real job, so, but that's my college experience. Those were the different classes and semesters that I took. That was the hard educational road of it. I will say this, that if you have the opportunity and you are able to either pay for your own or have a full ride to a college, whether you're going to be an athlete, off of scholarships, off of financial aid, without any loans, if you have the money and you're able to do that, or you're able to get paid for all the way through, you need to take it. If somebody's paying it for you, you're paying it for yourself, or financial aid has got you, I highly recommend doing it. Because if you live in a dorm or an apartment and you make friends with people at college, it will be one of, if not the greatest time of your life. You could meet your future husband or wife at college. You can make lifelong friends at college. And I'm not even sponsored by them. This is just me talking. You will regret not going to college. Because like I said before at the beginning, 20, 30 minutes ago, you don't need a degree to get any job. The job you want, you may not need one. But if you want to get paid more money and work up and stay with that company for 10, 20, 30 years in the future and be the lead person, the lead guy or girl, the lead one in charge, the director or chief officer of that position, you will need a degree for that, whether it be a associate's, bachelor's, or a master's, or even a doctorate. So if you want to, or if you're able to go to college, you need to go. There are a lot of stuff that I learned in college that I'm probably not going to use. Everything that I'm going to end up using is probably just from those main business classes I took, which was business, management, marketing, that kind of stuff. I don't need to know and remember biology. I don't need to remember certain stuff about math. I don't need to remember certain stuff about English. I just need to know how to write, do basic math, remember some stuff about science, and that's it. Depending on unless I'm marketing for a science company or something. But some classes, most of them were just I just need to get it over with. There was one or two that was actually fun, I could say. But if you have that opportunity, you got to take it. There's no reason you shouldn't take it. And I did it, and I feel complete. I feel grateful, and I feel full. It felt like during that entire 4 years, felt like something was on me. There was a weight. There was a piece missing. A piece of this puzzle was missing. And now that it said, you have passed, you are now a college graduate, I feel like it's done. It is the end of an era, and it is an end of a chapter of the book of my life. And I am very thankful that it has happened. I appreciate the people who helped me along the way with it, and the teachers that helped, the good ones anyway. There are a few of them. This podcast would not be a thing without going to college, because there are certain moments that happened in my college life that led me to this moment right here. I learned a lot. I was not depressed, but I was sad a lot of not doing good in certain tests or projects or even the whole class, But I'm glad I did it. And for the past couple days and week or two that I've been trying to get a job, every day I've been thinking, man, I need to hurry up and turn this in. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I graduated. I don't need to turn any homework in or something, because I always feel like I need to hurry up and write that paper. And it's like, what paper? I'm done. So it was fun while it lasted. And there are so many things that I did not do. I did not go out and party. I didn't do any of that. I didn't do drugs. Still haven't, because I don't have any interest in doing any of that. I didn't drink underage. I waited until I was 21. I was good. I was considered a good kid in a lot of people's eyes. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time there. The president, Dr. Bruno, who I had interviewed, he was the president while I was there. And then the dean of the business college that I was in was actually Dr. Barry, who is the president of the whole college now. So, and I've interviewed him like 2 or 3 times at this point. So, yeah, that's my college story. If any of you have the opportunity to go, I really think you should take it. If you have any other questions about my college experience, feel free to ask them to me in the YouTube comments. And yeah, that's my college experience. But with all that out of the way, it is now time for your questions. Like I said before, if you got any questions for my college, you can definitely ask them in the YouTube comments of my videos. Down in the description of this podcast episode, there's a link. Click or tap on that. It'll take you to my YouTube channel. Then you can go to one of the videos, go down to the comment section below and type out your question and your recommendation for any drink or candy that you would want me to review on a future episode. And right now, we have got a question here. So thank you for this question, and we're going to go ahead and go through it right now. If you had to give up one, which one would it be? PlayStation or Xbox? Ooh, why you gotta do this to me? Give up either PlayStation or Xbox for the rest of my life, I'm guessing. I'm looking at them right now. Out of these two, so it's like I can never buy or own anything Xbox related, or the actual console. I guess I can own the controllers, but I couldn't do anything with them. I think I could get rid of Xbox because they're making Xbox more compatible with like Samsung TVs and all that, to make something called like Xbox TV app to where you can play games without needing a console. And PlayStation's having a hard time doing that with themselves. But I think I'd have to get rid of the Xbox because PlayStation is too sentimental to me. I grew up playing PlayStation. I never owned an Xbox until last year. Like, being 21 years old was my first Xbox ever. And I've had it for over a year now, and I'm glad I have it. The Game Pass and all that, it's awesome, I'm able to play Halo and Gears of War. I never was able to play those games before. But PlayStation is just close to my heart. I remember being young and playing The Sims 2 on PlayStation 2, and playing SmackDown vs. Raw and all those games, So I had to get rid of the Xbox because the PlayStations have too much of a sentimental value to me. And they got great exclusives. I mean, PlayStation's got like God of War and Spider-Man and all that kind of stuff too, So, yeah, PlayStation is my number one. So, yeah, I would give up the Xbox. So, thank you for your question. And like I said, if you want to submit any questions yourself, you can go down to the YouTube comments below and submit one right now if you want to. So if you want to see a picture of the drinks that I review, you can go over to the Toddcast Instagram page at _Toddcast_, only on Instagram, of course. And the 3 drinks, not 1, not 2, but 3 that I'm going to be reviewing today are actually 3 more flavors of the Sonic Hard Seltzers. Now, if we go back a little bit, the last one I tried on May 12th of this year was the Cherry Limeade flavor of the Sonic Hard Seltzer. And now I got 3 different ones from that. I have Lemon Berry, Classic Lemonade, and original limeade. Now we're going to go ahead and just start out with the classic lemonade. I'm going to give these on the scale from 0 to 100 with no decimals, of course. And let's go ahead and crack this open. They're like these tall, like Red Bull looking cans, actually. So I don't remember the cherry limeade being that good. Let me go back and see what score I gave the cherry limeade. I gave it a 70. Okay. So I gave it a 70. Let's see if these match up with the cherry limeade. So let's go ahead with classic lemonade. Oh, gosh. Oh, Lord. Whoo! Oh, God have mercy. Oh, Lord. Oh, it's not good. Ugh. There is lemonade there, but golly, the seltzer's eating me alive. Oh, the lemonade's getting... Oh, it's getting a 67 from me. That I can't handle seltzers. If I like seltzers, I would like it more, but I just can't handle it. It's not something for me. So we're gonna go ahead and go over with the original limeade and see how it is. Oh yeah. So smells like all seltzers have the same smell. They all smell the same, no matter what flavor they are. If it's a seltzer and sparkling, it is the same smell. That's just all it is, you know. So let's give limeade a try. Oh, God, that's pungent. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, God almighty. Whew. It's 5% alcohol, but good Lord, I'm going to be burping after this. Ugh. Oh, God. Ugh. Got to throw up after this. Ugh. Ugh. The limeade tastes worse than the lemonade. 64 for the limeade. Oh, my nose is getting stopped up because of this somehow. I'm like allergic to seltzers, apparently. Alright, now let's go with the lemon berry flavor. Here, I'm going to toast you. Oh, that was loud. But here's the lemon berry flavor. Okay, it smells fruity. It has actually a different smell. The other two smell exactly the same. So let's go to try. Oh, God. Oh, why is they so strong every time? Ugh. Oh, I'm able to get it down, surprisingly. So they do get points for that. Oh, my nose is getting stopped up for some reason. Ugh. Okay, the lemon berry I can handle. Lemon berry is not that bad, actually. I'll give lemon berry a 72. It's still terrible because... Oh, the seltzer. Oh, I'm getting air in my chest now. Okay. I gotta pull through a little longer. Okay, so lemon berry sits at a solid 72. Limeade is at a 64. And then lemonade's in the middle with a 67. I love Sonic Drive-In, but good Lord, they need to figure out something. Not a seltzer. Don't do a seltzer. Seltzers suck. Why? Oh, it's starting. Why do a seltzer when your stuff already tastes good? Like, do an ocean water, but just put some other kind of alcohol in it. You ain't got to make it. Just make it hard. No seltzer, okay? That's all we got to do. So, 72 for the lemon berry, 67 for the lemonade, and 64 for the limeade. And if you have any recommendations, I will try to be looking for the other flavors as well. But if you have any recommendations of drinks or candy or food you want me to try and review on a future episode, you can comment it in the comments down below in the YouTube version, as well as your questions you want me to ask and answer on a future episode. And I think that's going to do it for this week. As always, please rate and subscribe, and if you're listening on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. And make sure you follow the Toddcast on Instagram for all your updates and Toddcast needs, and tell your friends and family to give it a listen. And thank all of you for listening to this episode. And if you want to know what's going to happen next week, we're just going to tune in to find out. Only on the Toddcast.